Good morning, beloveds. Well, we're 3 days into May, and I'm trying to figure out how it's almost June. Like, we're almost halfway through this year, and I don't know. I don't know. Although this was the first time that I've looked at my calendar in a year and a half, it feels like, where I've got something every weekend. But it is what it is, right? So, yeah. Let's see what 365 days of richer living for May 3rd is. All right. It is May 3rd. Our title is Today I Seek and Find New Opportunities for Self-Expression Through My Faith in the Power of God. And the Bible quote is, "And darkness hideth not from thee, the darkness and the light are both alike to thee." And that is Psalm 39:12. Excuse me, 139:12. Makes a difference. All right. To be effective, prayer must be affirmative, but it is not enough to merely affirm the presence of God. We must add to this realization the thought that divine intelligence is acting in and through us now. Prayer is not wishful or wistful wishing, nor is it an escape from objective reality. To be lost merely in our prayers might terminate in an unconscious desire to escape the activities of life. Therefore, we affirm that the divine intelligence is not only knows what to do, it impels us to act on its knowing. I am handing my life and affairs over to divine intelligence, to the power that knows how to do anything I am doing in this complete acceptance. Gratefully and with deep peace, with deep conviction, I am receiving the all good into my experience. I know there is nothing in me that can doubt either this divine goodness or the operation of its laws in my affairs. I believe that everything necessary to fulfillment of every good desire is now in full operation, that all the circumstances in my life are tending to bring it about. If there is anything I ought to do about this, I shall receive the impression to act. I shall receive guidance. I shall be impelled to act intelligently. Therefore, I have a complete sense of ease and assurance. I look forward joyfully to anticipate the good which is to come into my life. I believe that all who are now praying with me will receive the answer to their desires from the same source. My faith goes out to them even as their faith reaches back to me. For I believe that out of the great good in which we all live, there will surely come to each one of us an answer to his particular need. All right. So let's start with the fact that there's a difference between meditation and prayer. And one of the main differences is that meditation is passive and prayer is active. Meditation is listening. One of the things that I've heard, the ways that I've heard the two of them described is meditation is listening to God and prayer is talking to God. So when we meditate, we are... I'm going to use the word sitting quietly, but bear in mind moving meditations are a thing too. So generally in meditation, what we're trying to do is quiet our mind and quiet our body, even if we're doing like hiking. It's still a meditative experience because what we are doing is we are being quiet so that we can listen to the still small voice, that we can hear God. We can hear the voice of God. And we're filtering out everything else. We're filtering out what's going on in our life and all of that. We are simply listening. Now, prayer, on the other hand, is active, because in prayer, we are taking definite steps. We are asking for or affirming that we have something, or whatever it is that we are actively working on, healing, or, whatever it is. So we're taking, it's active. We are asking for, we are talking to God. So it is active. And it also means that, because Reverend Jesse's doing the 5-step action plan, which are the 5 steps of treatment. So whatever it is that we are asking or affirming in the prayer is going to require action on our part. It doesn't mean we say these words and then sit and wait. That's not how prayer works. Prayer means you tell God, and then you listen to the instructions and you go and do. So meditate. So that's the difference, passive and active. And he said it right in there. He says, you don't get to sit on your couch and wait for your prayer to come to you, because that's not the way it works. It means that your prayer is, the answer to your prayer is on its way, but you get to get up and go meet it. Now, sometimes the answer to your prayer comes to you, but it may not come to you where you think it's going to come to you. And it most likely won't come the way you think it's going to come to you. So you have to get out and go and do. Because when you are out and going and doing, you will get these subtle hints. You will get these impressions, as he says. You turn right instead of left. Or, you go and talk to this person that you didn't, that you've never seen before and you'll never see again. They just, because you were out doing, they crossed your field of vision. And they gave you that one little piece that you needed. So prayer is definitely very active. Very active. So I'm not sure about the title, because what I heard him talk about was treatment. But today I seek and find new opportunities for self-expression through my faith in the power of God. If that's what prayer is us seeking to more fully express God, then that's what we're looking for. New and fantastic opportunities to do that. And prayer is one of the ways that we can do that, to get them. And then the psalm, the darkness hideth not from thee, the darkness and the light are both alike to thee. It means we're going to get up and do no matter what. Because darkness and light are not going to get in our way, because they won't get in God's way. And like I said, that Psalm 139:12, if you want to go see what else that psalm is talking about. Reverend Norm said, if you want to know what a Bible quote is, read a couple before and a couple after and put them in situ. Well, that's an old anthropology term. Archaeology, actually. Okay. To be effective, prayer must be affirmative. Yes. If you want God to say yes, or Spirit to say yes, then you also have to say yes. You have to expect and accept. So, affirmative. It's not that there's not a place for the denials, but state what you want. It is not merely enough to affirm the presence of God. Okay. First step is unification, or first step is realization. Second step is realization. Recognition, unification, realization. All right. But in the realization, that's the action. We must add to this realization the thought that divine intelligence is acting in and through us now. Okay. So yes, recognition, there is one. Unification, that power is flowing through us because we are part of that one. That's what he says. We must add to this realization the thought that divine intelligence is acting in and through us now. whether we've gotten the answer or not, it's still acting through us. Prayer is not a wishful or wistful wishing, nor is it an escape from objective reality. Meaning, I can't just pray it away. I have to pray and take steps. I also can't just pray. I mean, there are monks, and they lock themselves, monks and nuns, and they lock themselves in convents, and they pray all day. And, but most of us, one, can't do that. And wouldn't want to. We've got lives to live. We want to go out and do and experience and express and just be all that we are and all that we can be. But he's also saying that if life isn't working quite the way you want it to do, you can't just pray it away. You pray and then you go and do. You go and do. You take steps to clean up whatever it is that's making your life unhappy. And if that means, letting stuff go or letting people go or letting, and bringing in new stuff and people and, activities and events. It's not always just about stuff. To be lost merely in our prayers might terminate in an unconscious desire to escape the activities of life. I don't always want to get up and go to work, but it is my responsibility. And I'm not going to pray that away. What I'm going to do is pray for that change the prayer is to get rid of whatever it is in my way about getting up and going to work. Because I'm going to do it. I have responsibilities. So what is it in me that doesn't want to do it? And that I can use prayer to change that. But I'm still going to get up and go to work. I'm going to change my mindset. Now, that does not mean that if I'm truly unhappy in my job, I cannot pray for a new job. But it means that I'm going to continue to fulfill my responsibility to my job. I'm going to do the best that I can. And because I'm going to pray for that. I'm going to pray to do the best job that I can at my job. But I'm also going to pray, is there something better? Is there something that is a more full expression of God that I could be doing? And then I'm going to listen for the answer. All right. Therefore, we affirm that the divine intelligence not only knows what to do, but it impels us to act on its knowing. So there is an answer. And while I am fulfilling my responsibilities, I'm listening for the answer. And I'm listening for that slight I'm feeling for that slight pressure. That slight pressure that says turn left instead of right. Or go talk to that person. Or whatever it is. We have rights and obligations. We have rights and responsibilities. And that's one of the things that we have to remember when we pray. We can't just pray it away without doing the work too. It's like God knows what to do, but God's going to do it through us. That means we got to get up off the couch and go do. All right. I am handing my life and affairs over to the divine intelligence, to the power that knows how to do anything. I am doing this in complete acceptance. So I know that there is a power greater than me that knows what I should be doing. I'm handing that off. I'm handing off the how. I'm still in charge of the what, but I'm handing off the how. It's like, I don't have to worry about the how. All I have to do is show up. But that means I have to get up and show up. Gratefully and with deep peace, with complete conviction, I am receiving the all good into my experience. I know that there is nothing in me that can doubt either this divine goodness or the operation of its law in my affairs. I believe that everything necessary for the fulfillment of every good desire is now in full operation. Okay, it's in full operation. That doesn't mean it's necessarily here, but it's in full operation, which means it's coming. Every now and again, we have to talk about this thing called divine timing, which is really frustrating for us because we are time bound right now. In this form, we are time bound. Well, God doesn't know time. God doesn't know time. So occasionally, we have to accept our good is in full operation and it's on its way. And we have to continue to do absolutely our best with what we've got right here, right now. And know that in the end, there is no end. It's going to be good. Because it's already good and it's just getting better. That all the circumstances in my life are tending to bring it about. I think if Ernest was writing now, he'd write trending. Trending to bring it about. So it means that the flow is happening. And we just need to make sure that we're in the flow, not fighting the flow or not blocking the flow. And that's one of the things prayer can be really good for, but that's also really good. That's what meditation can be really good for. If there's anything I ought to do about this, I shall receive the impression to act. If there is anything I ought to do about this, I shall receive the impression to act. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, we call it intuition, and we call it gut instinct, and we call it whatever else you want to call it. But the point is, we'll get the hint. So we have to be listening for the hint. That's one of the things that meditation is particularly good for. All of those spiritual practices where we practice listening. And listen, we will get the impression to act. Now, remember the difference between ego. Ego is survival based. So sometimes our ego will say, do this, do this, do this. Okay. So then you ask ego, okay, what is this about? Are we doing this out of fear? Are we doing this out of love? Are we doing this to benefit ourselves? Or does this benefit everyone? And that'll kind of give you an idea. Actually, the first question, are we doing this out of fear? Ego has a job. I'm not demeaning ego. But when ego gets really insistent, when we're trying to listen for the voice of God, we have to turn to ego and go, are you asking me to do this out of fear? And if ego says, well, yeah, then you can go, okay. We're trusting the process. We'll be okay. I shall receive guidance and I shall be impelled to act intelligently. So we will receive guidance and we will be impelled to act intelligently with that guidance. I have a complete sense of ease and assurance. I look forward joyfully as I anticipate the good which is to come into my life. And that's what we want to do with prayer. And that's where gratitude comes in. It's like, I have prayed for this. I know it is on its way, even if I don't see it now. And I'm excited about it. And I affirm that it's coming. And I'm grateful for it. I believe that all who are now praying with me will receive the answer to their desires from the same source. We all pray to the same. We all pray from the same. Or we all should pray from the same is what I should say. My faith goes out to them even as their faith reaches back to me. We're all one. We're all praying for each other. For I believe that out of the great good in which we all live, there will surely come to each one of us an answer to our particular need. All right, beloveds. There's a lot in that. There's a lot in that. I don't know what the mission today should be. You know what? I think that our mission today should be to have faith in the guidance that we will receive, to have faith that we will receive the guidance and that we will be impelled to act intelligently. Because frequently we pray for things and then we stop listening for the guidance. It's like, we're co-creators. We're divine distributors. God will do through us what God will do for us, what God can do through us. So our mission is to believe that the guidance is there and to act on it, to have faith, and faith is taking the first step on a bridge that you can't see. Go watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Talk about faith when he steps out onto that bridge. All right. I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, to do something kind for yourself, to do something compassionate for yourself today. I say that every day. I mean it every day. I want you to do something loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself every day because you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. You deserve it. You deserve the loving, kind compassion that you reserve for everyone else. And when you practice it on yourself, you will have more to share with everyone around you. And that's the goal. That's the goal. So it looks like we're going to have a nice day today here. It looks like it may be snowing in Colorado again. God bless my classmates up there. So go and do something to engage your mind and your body today. I don't know about the sun. We may or may not see that today. We have a chance of more storms tomorrow. And so, but drink some water. Take care of yourself. Go for a walk. Get some fresh air. Get a fresh perspective. I know we're almost halfway through this year and we're going, It's good. It's all good. We're working. So I will also encourage you, open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven now. It's up to us to look around and see it, to recognize that all around us are the children of God and that everything is made from the stuff of God. When you listen to the birds sing, you are listening to God sing. All right, beloveds, I encourage you to have an absolute wonderful day. I do know it's Monday, so there is the book study that happens in Tennessee at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you're interested in that, please email info@creativelife.org. I haven't heard of if they're changing books, but they've been working Divine Audacity. So that's what I know is going on today. Reverend David will be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back on Facebook Live with you at 9 a.m. And as always, these talks are archived on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube. So if there's anything you want to see for the last... We're over a year now. We're over a year now. They're almost all up there. I think I'm missing a week in October. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Know that you are loved.